Hey guys, Phoenix Spring Tarot. So today is a sad day. It's not only a sad day because of course, today being September the 11th, we always reflect on what happened 2 decades ago. But it's also, and quite poignantly and interestingly as well, Charlie Kirk's passing. Just my thoughts and prayers for him and his family. Charlie Kirk was a real one, the creator of Turning Point USA. He also put Candace Owens on the map as well. He was a mentor to Candace Owens. When I went to bed, when I found out about this and that he was shot in the neck, and I think a journalist, I can't remember her name, I think she has a podcast called The Nerve. She put it really poignantly. Charlie Kirk wasn't shot in the head or, the upper part of his body, but towards his neck, towards his throat, the point of communication, the point of spreading one's point of view and one's ideas, right? So, it is an assassination. But when I went to bed last night, my mind ran across him, and it's as if I saw him in a wheelchair. So when and I'm not saying in a wheelchair as if he was going to be maimed, but I saw a timeline of him in a wheelchair. So this wheelchair could have been that he would have recovered, but not being able to walk, or being in a wheelchair and recovering. But I saw him alive last night, in my mind's eye before going to bed. So when I woke up this morning and to find out that he had passed, I thought, ooh, I didn't see that coming. And I asked my guides, and I was between sleep and wake here. And I asked my guides, how did he pass? How did this happen? I saw a timeline in which he was going to be alive. And my spirit guides said that in life, souls choose several pre planned moments in life where it could be decided. So they could communicate with their higher selves, they could communicate with God, communicate on a soul level, whether they continue in this reincarnation or whether they return to spirit. So the number that was given to me was 5, but this number isn't fixed, and there could be multiple windows of choice, if you like. And these could show up as near death experiences, if you have a serious illness, if you have an accident, a sudden life crisis, like a dark night of the soul. So many times in these situations, you hear of some people miraculously recovering. But for other people, their soul would choose to leave the earth plane, leave this reincarnation, and choose to go. So that is why many times when you hear, or you hear someone, oh my goodness, it's a miracle, this person recovered, they should have been a goner, they should have been fatal. That's an example of one of those opportunities where they're given a window, but they decide to come back against all odds anyway. So many times we hear about near-death experiences and so on. For instance, this is what they're talking about, where they've left the earth plane and they've come back. So what my spirit guides were saying to me this morning between sleep and wake was he had made the decision to leave. His soul had made the decision to leave. Now, it was a fatal wound, but his soul had also made the decision to leave. And I was asking, but as I was asking why, they showed me the vision of wanting his life to be a sacrifice for his cause. And I wish I could put this the way my spirit guide showed me, and the emotion and the love that was with Charlie Kirk in his passing. Let me see if I could really tap in and be able to explain and express this to you guys the way it was shown to me. What they showed me is that in Charlie Kirk's life, he was always connected to his mission. He was always connected to his life purpose. He knew what it was. It permeated every aspect of his being. They were showing me his body, his mind, his soul, his breath. Like they were showing me he lived fully in the moment of the human experience. And his purpose was to spread and share and educate and pass on his ideals. I'm not here to debate whether you agree with what the ideals are, whether you don't agree with what the ideals are. That's like lower level and base. We're not doing that here. This is someone's life, right? So they were showing me this. And they were showing me the passion and the care and the love that, from his perspective, was driving this. passionate to the point and to the extent that he was willing, and this is the way my spirit guide showed this to me, he was willing to give of his life or take his exit window at this point in his prime. I still can't believe how young he is. 31. And that's the thing. Oh my goodness. Leaving behind his wife, his two beautiful, beautiful girls, I believe his two children, simply to cement that message of his cause, of waking people up, of agreeing to play his role in the tapestry of our spiritual collective awakening. That's what he chose to do. For his part, the spirit guides were showing it to me as it being a sacrifice he was willing to make for the collective awakening. There are many different aspects and facets of the collective awakening. You know, some people believe that we go to some fifth plane area and it's all peace and love and so on. Other people believe another facet of it is people's awakening, is the awakening of your self-conscious, of your self-awareness. And that's what I deal with as well. It's like so many times I do my videos and people are just asleep and they want to have conversations with me about stuff that I raise in the readings that don't matter. It's the waking up, waking up. He gave his life. He gave the opportunity to be with his family so that the collective could wake up. That was his belief. That was his passion. My spirit guides were showing me that agreement that he made. Because I was seeing an outline of him, and it was like I was seeing an outline of like a golden light. It was presented to me. So this golden light could very well be his soul, his higher self, but there was like something next to him, and that agreement was made. And he said, yes, I am willing to go. I am willing to sacrifice this life and everything that I've done so that people could wake up, so that people could understand the meaning of their life, so that people could be aligned and wake up to their purpose and live their purpose. It was really when my spirit guide showed me this and showed me the sacrifice he was willing to make for us to be impacted and to wake up, I cried. I mean, like, I really, really cried. And the love and the sacrifice that was in his heart, my spirit guides allowed me to feel it. And I was just in floods of tears. It was pure love and expansion and light. I mean, he walked the walk, talked the talk, you know? So let's see what else we could pick up on. So spirit guides, guardian angels of the highest light of the highest divine frequency, please protect myself, please protect and bless those viewing this reading. May we only channel messages of the highest divine light, of the highest truth, of the highest frequency, to provide insights into this situation that has happened poetically on 9/11 with Charlie Kirk. What further insights could you share on this situation, on Charlie Kirk's sacrifice? What could we learn? What is the message? What is the lesson for the collective viewing this? What is the lesson for the collective that could help the expansion of our awareness, that could help contribute to our spiritual awakening, that could help us just be better people to ourselves and to each other? Thank you. Wow. Oh, that's my door. One moment. Okay, sorry about that. All right, so let's see what we have here. So we're just looking into the energies of this situation. 9 of Cups. Do you remember when I was doing that last reading on Trump, his health and his foreign policy? I was saying towards the end of the reading that I couldn't continue. Gosh, we are in some dark times, I am telling you. Justice. But dark times doesn't mean my spirit guides us saying these are dark times. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. But it's not dark times in that we ought to be afraid or we ought to be scared. Not at all. We tap into the bravery. that we have. We tap in. Yeah, it should be a matter of us tapping into our inner wisdom, tapping into our bravery, grounding into ourselves, grounding into the essence of who we are, right? It's not a time to be scared. It's not a time to give our power to someone else. It's not a time to, take wholesale the opinions of others. It's a time of us grounding within ourselves, grounding in our inner truth, grounding in our wisdom, right? Questioning ourselves as to what is happening around us, what is true, what is not. Okay? There are lots of people celebrating this. There is nothing to celebrate here. We have the Justice card that's come through twice. We have the Devil energy that's come through. We have the Five of Pentacles. We have the Eight of Swords. We have the Nine of Cups. We have the Tower. Something unexpected. Remember when I was talking, in fact, my very last reading before this one, when I was, in fact, no, it's not the last one. The third reading I did before this one, representing America. America sinking, losing her way. Tower, something shocking happens. There are a number of different timelines, right? So whenever you have someone doing a reading, it's from this current position. There are a number of different paths that we as a collective could go down. Two of Wands. The world, it's us deciding which pathway do we go down. The repercussions and the ripples of this. Oh my goodness, why is today so busy? Just one moment, guys. Okay. Hopefully no more disturbances, hopefully no more distractions. But you know what's interesting? They're just giving this to me now. This is the thing, it's distractions, it's disturbances, us as a collective being distracted. There's something about that. Hopefully they give me a bit more. Because whenever I start a reading, whatever happens during the reading, that's also a message as well. So Eight of Swords, people being fearful, people not being able to see their way. And this is something that we picked up on at the beginning of this reading. It's not a matter of reverting to fear. It's not a matter of reverting to your echo chamber. It's not a matter, no one should ever celebrate someone's passing. But on a spiritual level, what he's done and the sacrifices that he's made, for us to even have this reading, for us to even reflect, is powerful, is a powerful form of love in and of itself. So this is not a moment for us to, allow our base or lower vibration emotions of anxiety or shame or judgment to take over and cloud our vision and influence our actions or how we think and how we feel. Because that's exactly what whoever the shooter is or whoever the person is that's caused this chaos, and this is just in life in general. This is, when someone does such an act, that's what they want. To keep you in that lower base vibration. Yeah, look at that, 10 of Wands. To keep you in that lower base vibration. This is like the collective energy, where you can't raise your head. You're so bent from the pressures of your life. You can't see, you can't move, you can't see or move your way forward. With this devil energy, that is being consumed by fear, judgment, resentment, rejection, poverty, lack of money, health. The way it impacts your health, the way it impacts your vitality, the way it impacts or limits your ability to see the possibilities of expanding into your full power. America, and as a collective, us as a collective, because this is just, this situation may happen with Charlie Kirk in the States, but chances are when you look at France, I need to do a reading on France and what's happening with the vote of no confidence in Macron. This is, I believe, is the second government that's been voted no confidence. We need to do a reading into that as well. It's a matter of realizing, people waking up and realizing, okay, things in my life are not going according to plan. Things in my life are not how I want it. And it's great to awaken up to that. but it's a matter of how you channel that energy. Do you channel it in terms of, sinking deeper into the lower vibration energies and thinking that's all there is? Or do you use that energy vibration frequency and reharness and transmute it and use it as a springboard into the higher level vibrations of hope, of understanding, of compassion, of empathy, of seeing something from another person's perspective, of having the courage to remove the blinkers from your eyes and just open your perspective, broadening your perspective, having that sense of self and security in yourself to be able to admit sometimes when you're wrong, or allowing your soul to evolve and expand. There's going to be a drive for a lot of this. Came through in my last Trump foreign policy meeting reading. Remember when I talked about war and unrest, some sort of war, some sort of civil unrest? I said this was coming. There is something about the energy that's in the collective that this has tapped into, an unsteadiness and unease. We have the Justice card in two different decks appearing twice. So the Justice in this and the Hangman, seeing things from a different perspective. That's what we were just talking about. The Hangman is about different perspectives, right? But the Justice card here is turned up twice. Trust me, no stone will remain unturned by Trump in bringing this person to justice, for sure. But I think this justice from a collective perspective is talking about imbalance in our society. The balance is important. Having that, and this is talking about not just balance as well, but it's also talking about duality. We have the duality in terms of opposing ideas and the fact that we need both to be able to coexist. This is talking about the imbalance in that duality, when one side doesn't feel currently that they're being heard, or they feel one side is winning. So as I mentioned in the introduction, you shoot someone in the throat, shoot them in the neck, shoot them in the throat. That's where the vocal box is, to silence them. Okay. Let's see what else is coming up. What else do we need to know? Time on my own. I can't. I have to stop and reset so often. Yeah, we'll take this. This is that conversation. It's either conversation with his higher self or with his guardian angel. 1 foot in water, 1 foot on land. Do I stay? Do I go? Am I done? That's what I'm picking up was happening, because that shot, they're showing me like it went in. Of course, we know it went into his throat, but and nicking a blood vessel, like a major blood vessel in his throat. I mean, the videos of it were just horrendous. Oh my gosh. Okay, what else is coming through regarding this? Hmm. Again, they keep on bringing me back to this. So when I'm talking about, again, that exit window, this is it. It's the options. It's the choice. That is what I was seeing. Like, he had options. He had choice of whether I stay, whether I go. They're expanding on that point with regards to options and choice a bit more. Because it's like, if he came back, what capacity would he have come back in, and his ability to continue his work and to be effective in his work? And with the 3, it's as if the Empress is one of the most powerful cards when it comes to a person that you could get in the deck. And it's interesting that we have the Empress and we have the Emperor. The Empress is the divine feminine. And the divine feminine representing a softer energy. It's representing, what's going on inside your internal life, your internal scene. Is representing love. It's representing compassion, understanding, awareness, being able to give to others, give on to others as you would like them to give on to you. It's a lot of those ideals that are wrapped up in the divine feminine. And it's interesting that this is coming out in his energy, because that is what I was saying about when he was in that choice, when he was having the choice of that window opportunity of staying and going. There was just so much love. And interestingly enough, it's going to get marred, but that is what, for us, that's the final message of what we should be left with. The ability to speak our truth, to not just speak our truth and articulate our truth and being able to express it, but to be about it as well. But to be about it in a way, and where he was doing it from his perspective, was for the upliftment and the benefit of society. That was his drive. So with the divine feminine and the Empress energy, when you look at this card, there's a lot of richness and greenery, not only from her, but she's sitting in a field of hay, and the trees are lush, and the sky, as the sun is in the sky. That's meant to represent, not just richness within yourself as an individual person, but also in your environment as well. So it's how are you making your world a better place around you? And that was what whether you agree with his perspective or not, it's not about that. That's lower vibration, judgmental, duality, either side stuff. We're not talking about that. What I'm talking about here, and what my guides are giving me very strongly, is his intention, the power of his intention, the power of his heart. Whether you agree with his politics or not, his intention was he wanted to make his world a better place, his reality, his environment a better place. And it's having this in his exit window. It's having that discussion. If I came back to continue this work, what are my options here? No, I'm not really happy with those options. I think the highest way for me to impart this message, to impart this purpose, is death. Okay? Let's find out about the other person who ended Charlie Kirk's life. Oh, we got a magician reverse. It fell on the floor as it reversed. So, Three of Swords. I'm picking this up. I wonder if we'll see this. I wonder if Charlie Kirk knew him. There's going to be some communication. Either they may have caught it or they're going to release a name or something. But I wonder whether, let's see what unfolds in the next few days. Whether, I think they would get him for sure. And there would be a more definitive update on this for sure. I wonder whether Charlie Kirk had one of his tours or whether one of his rallies. He speaks to so many people. Whether Charlie Kirk knew him or had an interaction with him or interaction with someone he knows, just, when people come up to the mic and they ask their questions and that sort of thing, that's what I mean. In terms of this person, what I'm picking up on, I'm not quite sure about this magician reverse, I have to say. There's something, this Three of Swords betrayal is like a personal thing. That's why I'm wondering whether he knew Charlie Kirk. I'm not quite sure about Charlie Kirk knowing him, but it could be that he felt that he had some relation to Charlie Kirk. I'm not picking up on someone who is old. So I'm not picking up on someone who, let's say, is a mature person at all. Like this is a Page of Cups. Okay, let's see what else we could get about this person, because that's what they're giving me. That's where we are. Well, I did ask the question to be fair. So, guys, God and angels, thank you for those messages so far. What else could you give us about this person? I did get an 8 of Swords with them, meaning that, okay, I said 8 of Swords, but we have 8 of Pentacles that has come through. They're very good and very skilled at something, this person. I mean, from 20 yards to, I mean, the last person who tried to assassinate Trump, well, he didn't quite get there, but this person did. So it's a matter of perhaps that being very skilled at something, being very skilled shot. There's some practical thing, to do with your hands or creating stuff that this person's very skilled at. So not really like, I'm not seeing this person as a mental strategist or a great thinker or anything like that, but being good with their hands and being practical and so on. It's coming through as them being very, very good at that. Also with the Page of Cups, emotionally, I'm not sure if emotionally we have the Hangman coming through again. I'm not sure emotionally unstable or whatever is the word. There may be another person involved with this as well. So it's not just one person. There's a younger person I'm seeing with this page, or they may look young, who was the main person that did it, but it's as if there's someone else. This is the mature energy, this king. There was someone else who knew about it or was egging someone on, or who was perhaps, this is what I mean by brains and the passion. And there is something about having brains behind the operation, but this person who took the shot wasn't the brains behind the operation. It's someone else. I'm not quite getting a message on this hangman here, but this is the second time this hangman energy has come up. I don't think I have anything further at this point to say regarding this. Ace of Swords. I feel the way I'm going to interpret this hangman is that I feel there's a lot of sword energy here. And again, with the star energy, I just feel that there's a lot that this is really an opportunity with this hangman and with the star for us as a collective to make shifts in the way we perceive our reality and the way we relate to each other. There is a real opportunity here for up-leveling, for expansion, for elevation with this hangman. It's taken someone being burned down or shut down, if you like. It's interesting. Remember what I said at the beginning, seeing him in a wheelchair? It's interesting seeing the swords through the spine. It could be that, it's something. Anyway, it doesn't matter because he's gone anyway. But I just found it I still can't shake that because I knew I saw us in a timeline where he would have recovered and then for him not. It's just still crazy to me. Oh, okay, guys. I think I'm going to leave it there. I don't think that I have anything else that I would like to raise here. This has been in planning and in the works for quite a while. With this King of Knight of Pentacles, it's been planning, it's been in the works for a little while. Someone has been studying him. We have the Page of Cups again. Twice we've had the Page of Cups. We have the Three of Swords again. It's like Charlie Kirk was causing this person anguish on a really deep level. There was something about an emotional immaturity and not being able to process. Like there was an obsession here. All these cards we've had, well, with the exception of the Knight of Pentacles. He had been studying him for a while and planning this for a while. And that's what we're also getting with this as well, with this Eight of Pentacles, is that diligence and judiciousness. They're giving me that word. It's like meticulously planning. It's like looking at someone, scoping them. That perhaps is why I'm thinking that Charlie, I don't know, perhaps I was getting a feeling that Charlie knew him, or, well, not knew him, but like this person knew of Charlie, because it's almost like a stalking nature and scoping him out and analyzing and studying and really detailing and meticulously planning, practicing as well. Being spurred on with these 2, 3 of Swords, being spurred on by just grief, despair, anguish, helplessness. It's like Charlie made him feel like he attributes his feelings and these emotions that he has on Charlie. Charlie Kirk. Okay. There's something to do with this fire and money. And I'm seeing a male energy here, as I said, guy. I don't know whether it's that he didn't have any money or he comes from money. One out of those two. Is either he was very comfortable or he didn't have. One out of the two. I can't quite. So you know the person who assassinated, who also killed that pharmaceutical CEO, came from a wealthy background. It's something along those lines here. I'm not saying that the person, like, it's either they had money or come from a background of money or come from, like, it's something of a higher echelons in something. Or it could be the complete opposite extreme. They're not quite giving that to me, but they are going to be brought to justice, though. Let's see if they could be brought to justice alive. That's the thing. Let's see. And the jury is still out with this hangman energy as well, in terms of us as a collective, how we choose to move forward with this as well. Okay, guys, I am going to leave it there for now. Again, may Charlie Kirk, thank you for turning up in this live for us. Thank you for living your life in your highest truth and in your highest purpose. It's not for any of us to judge. You know your truth and your purpose. You lived it as you were meant to live it. And thank you for that. And thank you. Okay, guys. And rest in peace, and sending love, thoughts, prayers, and healings to those who had close personal relationships with him, and to his family that he's left behind. Not only his immediate family, but also his extended family as well. Thank you guys for watching, and for watching until this point. I will see you in future readings. Bye for now.